Hey guys, James here today and welcome to another house building video here in The Sims 4. Today I'm building another starter home because I've been really enjoying them lately. They're a really nice way to sort of just sit down and build a small house quite quickly, but it's also a nice challenge trying to stay within that $20,000 budget. But I promise though, this will be the last starter home for a little while, just because I do miss being able to detail things to my heart's content. I wish I could have done more detailing in this, but of course it was a starter, so I was limited by that fact. But having said that, yeah, here we are starting off with a pretty standard shape. I was thinking, you know, I don't know, it's a good shape, but I mean, I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to mix it up, make it a little bit different from the other starter homes that I've done recently anyways. And that was quite simple. The answer quite simply was to add on a diagonal section, much like I'm doing right now. Though the problem with this, and you'll see a little bit, is to do with the roofing and trying to get... This has been a problem since... I don't even know if... Did Sims 2 even have diagonal roofs? I don't know. If it did, it's been a problem since Sims 2. If it didn't, it's been a problem all of Sims 3. Trying to get the roofs on diagonals and regular roofs to join is really difficult without making them look a little bit dodgy in one way or the other. Now, I more or less get it to join. There is a little bit where it doesn't look ideal, but there's only so much I could do to get it to fit properly without drastically sort of changing the shape of the house and spending more money than I needed to. So I sort of just went with the compromise because it still kind of looked good. I mean, you still have that diagonal look from the front, and it's quite nice. So sort of inspired by little cottage styled homes that this one is anyways. That's what I wanted to do. Just a small little one with siding and some stone. The walls are a medium height, so they're not the regular sort of small walls, and they're not super tall, but they're in between, just because I thought it will give the house a little bit of grandeur in terms of wall height. And I put some columns on the corners of the walls there as well. I was actually surprised when I was going through and furnishing this house. It felt like I had a lot of money to spare. So, I mean, in the end, there was a few things I had to cut back on, but... yeah, when I was sort of furnishing, like, I was able to do most of the things I wanted to. And I was quite happy with that, actually. So going around doing some windows, choosing a beautiful back door. So this is actually on quite a big lot. This is a 20 by 30 lot, I think. But of course, you could place this on probably any... Can you place it on any other? Actually, I don't know. But you can when Get to Work, or when the patch for Get to Work comes out. So everyone will be able to do this. You will be able to place it on a smaller lot, like a 20 by 15, even if the lot I built it on is bigger, which is actually really cool. So he's just working on the interior, keeping it pretty basic, just some nice floorboards and sort of wood paneling and / wallpaper for the walls. And then we just got some nice tiles for the bathroom there. I do actually change those tiles to a classic white and black diagonal stone because I think it looks quite nice. And it's quite fitting for the house, actually. Yeah, so the bathroom is actually really big for a house of this size. And big for most of my houses. I don't normally do bathrooms of that size, even though, I mean, I guess it doesn't seem that big. But for some reason, I always do like 3 by 3 bathrooms or 2 by 3 or I don't know, something weird sort of small shapes. And that's, when I was doing that, it felt really spacious, which was actually kind of funny. But anyways, going through and doing some lights now, just making sure I can see what's going on. So I wanted to separate the kitchen and the living space just because... I mean, a classic sort of cottage wouldn't have an open plan, you know, layout. It just wouldn't exist. So I split the kitchen. The kitchen's at the back. I think the kitchen is actually a little bit smaller than the bathroom. So I don't know. I mean, I guess there probably was a better layout somewhere if I had messed around for a little bit longer, but I was quite happy with this. It created an interesting kitchen area anyways. You can see here me trying to play around with the cabinets and the fridge, trying to get a sort of placement that works out and also doesn't stick through the wall like that cabinet currently is. I also then tried to curve the cabinets because I thought, hey, that'd be a good idea, but it wasn't. Okay, it didn't work. Then I also realized where the fridge is right now is in front of a window, so that doesn't make any sense. So then I moved it over by the door. And yeah, that's pretty much the final kitchen layout there. Yeah, so I actually used quite nice cabinets. They're not cheap cabinets because I didn't think the cheap cabinets really suited this style of house at all. So I was like, okay, let's splash out a little bit on the cabinets. And that's actually where I started thinking, oh, I've actually got quite a bit of money to mess around here with. The house is currently worth, if you look at the top, 12,784, and it can be a maximum of 20,000. So quite a bit of money to play around with. So I was able to sort of get some items that look quite nice. Now, the problem with this sort of cottage style is all the items that suit this style are actually really expensive, which is kind of annoying. And all the cheap items in The Sims 4 are like IKEA styled items. So it kind of makes it hard to furnish a traditional house or like traditional kind of old styled, quaint cottage home with cheap furniture because it just doesn't exist. It was kind of hard to do, but I did my best. I mean, there's some spots where it's just like, well, that doesn't really look like a traditional cottage sort of furnishing. Like even the bathroom. See the bathroom? It would be nice to go spend a little bit more money on the sort of fixtures, but well, what are you going to do? It's a starter home. It's to start out in. But like I said earlier, I promised the next build will be a little bit more extravagant. It won't be another starter because I think I've actually done 3 starters in a row now. But it is a lot of fun, and it gives me a lot of choice of where I want to go. If I want to play the game again, I can start with a new family in one of these starters. Because I think I also have another starter. I think it's Spunky Starter, wasn't it? It was another one I made. Yeah, so I have a little bit of choice if I want to start a home for my Sims these days. That's good stuff. Anyways, trying to figure out how I'm going to furnish this living space because it's actually a really weird shape. Oh, and right there, I'm using the hotkey I discovered. Well, I didn't discover it, actually. That's a lie. I posted a video about it the other day with my face on the thumbnail. It was tweeted at... No, it wasn't tweeted. It was commented to me by Sims Fairy, but they're also at Sims Fairy on Twitter, that they found out. I don't know if they found out, but anyways, they relayed to me that if you press the plus key on the number pad, you can cycle through an object's colors as you're placing it, so you don't have to select the little swatches or, you know, recolor an item after you place it. It's really, really useful, actually. And I remembered it as I was putting that couch down because I think I'd forgotten it at that point for other items. But anyway, so in this house, I actually managed to get in a bookcase, a desk sort of study area. I also put, I think, a dresser in the bedroom this time around. We have bins, so I don't think I actually forgot anything. And sorry, I should stop playing with that. I was playing with a bottle opener. Make a little bit of noise. But yeah. So yeah, this actually, that's why I was really surprised just the amount of things I could actually fit in and afford in this house. But then I realized, and you'll see me realize in a minute. Anyways, just doing the pathway again out of terrain paints and a little backyard area there. This is where I realized, no, I haven't realized yet, but I was like, oh yeah, need a bin. Do need a bin, so let's put that in. And that, yeah, I realized that mirror was super expensive, so I just wanted to get a little bit more money that I could spend on other things. Trying to figure out where I could put that rug. Right there, apparently. But I don't want to spoil it. I'm just waiting until I realize. I guess it must be right at the end where I'm like, oh god. Oh god. You may already know. You might be thinking, why hasn't he done that? That's really weird. Getting a cheaper mirror there because trying to save a bit of money so I can afford. Oh, there we go. I was like, oh god, that wall is blank. I'd never put any windows on it. And especially because we have the bathroom sitting there with no windows. That is not ideal, but that is the little starter home. Pretty quick build. Here we are in the screenshots. We'll sort of just fly around the outside. There's a sort of a little angle of it so you can sort of get an idea of the diagonal roof and how that sort of plays in with the house. Just the standard few exterior shots. Would have liked to do some landscaping with plants, but again, couldn't afford it. I mean, I probably could have sold the columns on the outside of the house, but then that just sort of removes a level of detail that I enjoy with this particular build. So there's the living space, the sofa and the little TV on the right, the study area in the back. There's the front door on the left. And you can just sort of get a good idea of how everything fits in there. The download link, as always, is in the description down below. And feel free to leave suggestions on the next build you'd like to see me do. Like I said, the next one will definitely be, well, it definitely won't be a starter home. So I'll be free to mess about with the budget and sort of build something a little bit more extravagant. So feel free to suggest ideas you have for that or any suggestions of things you would like to see. But of course, thank you so much for watching, guys. And don't forget to leave a comment and have an awesome day. There we go. Reached the end.